Game Dev Stories is sponsored by King, and I'd like to invite Sabrina, Carmona from King to the stage and her fellow panelists.
Okay, well, hi. Good afternoon, everyone. How you doing? You still here? Yeah? We're a little bit jet-lagged. We came from Europe, so I guess it will be fun. But I do want to welcome everyone to our panel to talk about Farm Hero Saga. Has anyone played that before?
Good.
You're my best friend since I got here, right? Love it. Thank you. If you haven't, please download the game. Every install counts. Thank you. Okay, but I'm Sabrina Carmona. I'm the VP of Farm Hero Saga. My pronouns are she and her, and I have black hair and a black top. And I'm here to talk a little bit with my team. I'm so proud to be able to sit with so many talented people, but to share a little bit about the journey that it has been. But I'll let them introduce themselves. Why don't we start with you, Will?
I'm Will Goodwin. I am the business operations lead for Farm Hero Saga. I've been at King for about a year and a half now. Prior to King, I worked as an agile coach for about 10 years across varying different sets of industries, from government through to finance. Obviously, gaming is the highlight of my career. It's the most fun I've ever had. But I joined King a year and a half ago, as I said. I was predominantly working with Pet Rescue Saga, if you've ever played that, and Bubble Witch Saga 3. But yeah, my pronouns are he, him, and I've got brown hair, and I've got a black overshirt with a white t-shirt. Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name's Megan Wheeler. My pronouns are she, her. I have blonde hair and I'm wearing a green jumper. I'm a game designer in the farm events team, so my primary focus is keeping players engaged through our seasonal event calendar, as well as working on new mechanics in order to delight our players. And I've been in the industry for about 7 years now, but that's me.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jota Serna. My pronouns are he, him. I'm wearing a green shirt and I have black short hair. I'm a technical director in Farm Hero Saga at King, of course, and I'm stationed in Malmö. I think this is going to be my third year at King. And my 15th in the industry. I'm very happy to be here, though my jet lag has a very different opinion about it.
All of us. Okay, I'm gonna jump right into it. I'll start with you, Megan. Why not? So if you reflect on a decade of Farm, could you share a standout moment or a milestone that you believe it was a success?
Yeah, of course. So actually the first project that I led when I joined Farm was a iteration on 1-2-3 Grow, which is one of Farm's most popular events, so no pressure. And what we did was we added an additional reward loop to the end of the event. So during the event, players receive a super crop seed that they have to grow from a seed all the way up to an adult plant. And originally, at the end of the event, you kind of just got some boosters and it just ended. But we've got some really dedicated players. So an event that was designed to last 7 days, they were completing it in 1 to 2. So we really wanted to expand and amplify the event's value. And we did this by adding a mechanic to the end of the event where if they continued to nurture their plant, they would receive gold bars, which is the premium currency in the game. And who doesn't want free money? And this was one of our biggest bits of feedback that we got from our players, was they wanted more ways to get gold bars. So it was great in that respect, but also for the team it was great because we saw a uplift in player engagement and player satisfaction. So as a milestone, I feel like it was really good because it shows our commitment to listening to our players.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Why don't we change to Will? Would love to hear a perspective. What are some defining moments that shape the Farm team's identity?
I think it's a good question. I think one of the main things for me is the lesson over the last decade around building a diverse team. I joined Farm just over a year ago now, and one of the first things I was asked to work on was kind of the onboarding experience for new farmers as we grew. Obviously, a decade's gone by, we've doubled in size, and for me, what was quite difficult is coming in and already seeing such an incredibly diverse team. I think it's really important that we build that diverse team to represent that global audience that you have in a free-to-play game. And so trying to build on top of that was incredibly difficult, but it was actually really good to get learning. It was really inspirational. I learned so much about the history of Farm, and so that's my most defining moment of probably nearly my career, to be honest. I learned so much from it.
That's very cool. Thank you. Hota.
Yes.
Mr. Tech Director.
Yes.
Tech plays a significant role, right? When we're
It
building
does.
games and how we engage with our players, the platform that we use. So how has the tech team used player feedback to innovate or improve the game's technical aspects?
It is a very interesting topic, as it should, for me as a technical director, that is.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that traditionally the Farm Hero Saga team has been very focused on providing content and experience for the players that are at the last of the content, to our most tenured players. I think that the team has shifted now to provide better experiences and content for all players, regardless tenure or motivations that they might have to play the game. That means that we're effectively putting the players front and center of what we do. So for us, monitoring the game out in the wild is very important. We have like several dashboards, several alerting systems that trigger when anomalies are detected, basically. We have two kind. One of them is the business health. For example, if revenues are going down, and we also have technical health. Technical health, we're usually monitoring crashes or application or respondings and things that could affect the player experience. So depending on the severity of those happenings, we act either immediately or we decide to fix them later. So that means that effectively our technical roadmaps are guided by both player feedback through this active monitoring, but also by the product needs. And the product needs, of course stems from player feedback and preferences.
Sure. And it's interesting, right? Because you're talking about data, you're talking about insights. So I'm going to throw a data question to the creative. How much data or insights do you actually use to influence your decisions when you're creating something?
Data and insights are literally the backbone of the design decision-making process. So whenever we're first approaching a new idea or concept, we always have a hypothesis at the core of it. And the hypothesis is curated from data that we get from our lovely data scientists. This is things like game rounds, daily active users, how our event funnels are progressing. And this lets us pinpoint any friction points that we have in the game and kind of focuses us in to work on those areas. So that's pre-production. Post-production, we will go through with data again to update these numbers, but also we'll do vigorous A/B testing. And this helps us actually validate our hypotheses and see if we're correct, but also sets us up for the foundations for our next hypotheses. And then lastly, beyond the numbers, we also do several player research questionnaires a year. And this helps us get direct feedback from our players, qualitative data, because who better to tell us how to improve the game than the players themselves?
Yeah. And it's like a common theme. Even though you're both wearing green, but everyone's like talking about the player. I'm gonna go back to you, Hota, before I attack you with another question. But if we talk again from a technical perspective, right? It's a 10-year-old game.
It is.
So, which is great, of course.
It is.
But there's got to be some challenges in building the mechanics and scaling, etc. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how is that done successfully?
Yeah, absolutely. So. Not only is it a 10-year-old game, also Farm Hero Saga has a very loyal player base. Right. Perhaps one of the most loyal in the industry. Some of those players have been playing the game since the game was released in Facebook 13 years ago now. That made me feel old for some reason, but let's not talk about that. That means that we also need to support a variety of devices. Some are newer, and of course some of them are older. So for us, it's very important that we do tech tests. By that, I mean that we don't release fully any line of code without understanding what is the impact to the player experience. So we monitor for, as I was saying before, crashes, memory pressure, application or responders, battery consumption, but we also check how it's affecting business KPIs. When I talk about business KPIs, I refer to revenues, engagement, and as such. So as I said, we don't fully release anything that we believe that could be detrimental to the player experience. Right now, there's probably more than 70 experiments running at the moment. Not probably, because I actually checked this morning. So this is factual. So I'm sure that everyone here has Farm Hero Saga installed on their phones. I mean,
Sure.
Or you should at least. So if you were to open your games right now, and please don't do it, because then we will get an alert and someone in Sweden will probably wake up. So if you were to do that, you would probably find differences in your experiences. We also have a policy of allowing our players to play offline, and architecting around that is very interesting, but it can be also very challenging. And we also take the privacy of our players. I think that is paramount for us. So keeping up with the latest trends has been also a very interesting journey.
That's very interesting. And talking about latest trends, because I think that's very topical right now. It's a much more competitive market, right? It's 10 years. 10 years ago, there weren't that many games, and not everyone played on their phones. And now look where we are, right? So, the mobile gaming industry is highly competitive, as you are aware. Can you discuss some challenges that we faced in these environments or innovations that help us stay ahead? Like, how do we cope?
So, firstly, I think competition is healthy to begin with. I'm kind of going to cheat a little bit. I'm not going to talk about the challenges so much, but more how we go about it. So I think now more than ever, and Hotter knows this because I tell him all the time, outcome is much more important than output. So what does that mean? Obviously, it's a lovely saying. But ultimately, what do you care about? What do your players care about? It can't just be about throwing 100 features because our competitors are throwing 100 features at the player. It's got to be more about, do you want them to play the game for longer? Do you want them to have more fun in their levels? What is the outcome that you're actually trying to achieve? What feeling are you trying to get your players to feel? And that's what you're striving to achieve. And that's kind of where hypotheses come into play, all these different experiments we're running. It's all about trying to hit the outcome. But alongside that, the second prong is effectiveness and efficiency. Also spoke a lot to Hotter about this one. You can be as efficient as you like, but you might be heading in the completely wrong direction. You could be a headless chicken running backwards away from what your players want, when in reality what I tell the team constantly is, this is our chance to be effective. This is our chance to be more effective than our competition. Effective has direction, similar to velocity. We need to be heading in the right direction at the right pace. It's much better to be going at a medium pace towards what our players want than going at a really quick pace, not to what our players want.
That was beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Very nice. I don't know if any of you have the pleasure to sit with your team on a panel. And sorry, I'm going off script. Sorry, team. It's just, it makes my heart really full and warm. Anyways, okay, Megan, another one for you.
Hello.
So, 10 years, over the years, there's a lot of changes, right? And we talk about what players want and etc. But I feel like I want to give examples, like tangible, measurable examples. So is there any feature or anything released that you can tell me, that you can share, that has been primarily driven by the players?
Well, actually, myself, Will, and Hotter here, we've only been here for max 2 years.
Yeah.
So maybe you're better equipped to answer that question yourself.
Aren't you clever? Okay, let me think. Okay, I can share an example. So when I started working in Farm back in 2019, Yes, 2019. We really wanted to revamp the art. Has anyone ever said, "Oh, we need to revamp the art"? Thank you. You're like, yes, absolutely. Had that idea, and I thought I was like, oh my god, I'm such a good leader, revolutionary. We're gonna revamp the art. It's gonna work. It's gonna be great. Gonna make it look fresh and all of those words that I tell the artists, and they're like, oh, the stakeholder. Of course, completely understand. But we did A/B test a new art kind of style. They're very proud. We put some 3D. We got, oh, this looks so cool. And then we did a couple of things. We measured qualitative. So we got some players in-house and asked them, what do you think? And we also released it and managed performance of the title, right? It happens that they hated it. They did not like it. I was absolutely wrong. And we learned a really nice lesson of go back quickly, please. But that's it. That's the beauty of working with live games. How do you make something that's already great even better? And that's a really big challenge, to be quite honest, because it doesn't really end, right? You continue to keep dropping content, continue to make the game bigger, make the game better. And this was such a nice learning. You do have to trust your gut, but you got to trust your players and you got to talk to them. That's such a big lesson for us. And yeah, new art doesn't always mean that it's going to have more engagement. So that was something quite interesting and fresh. But thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak as well. I love it. Thank you very much. I do want to give, I do want to give chance for people to ask questions, but before, I'll ask the same question to the three of you. I want to see what the difference is, so we can go one at a time. Starting with Will, because you made a face that you're nervous. 10 years. What does the next 10 years, what kind of opportunity do you see for the next 10 years of Farm? Good luck. Good luck.
I mean, I could be really cheeky and just be like, I'm looking forward to the next 10 years. I think it's really difficult because I want to say so many different things, and for context, I'm a super excitable person. I go all over the place. I really, really want to be able to say so many different things. But the lovely comms team are down here, and they would tell me off. But Hotter will give a much better answer. Same with Megan. I think they're much closer to the players. And for me, it's all about what the next 10 years looks like for the business. And some of you might be like, oh, here we go. But the team's doubled, and that gives us the opportunity to do so much more for our players, so many more outcomes, be so much more effective. And that's genuinely what I'm looking forward to. In terms of what we might do on a lower level and the weeds and that are really exciting, I'll kind of let Megan and Hotter answer that question.
Thank you. So our roadmap, which obviously I can't go into any details about, it teases some really cool features that I think our players are going to really love. With a focus on rewarding our loyal players, but also fostering a new budding community. So expect to see the Farm universe expand with lovely innovations, and yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be an amazing 10 years.
What about you, Hotta?
I mean, no surprises here, but the thing that I'm most excited about is the technical challenges that lay in our future, of course, because I think that those are the ones that make you grow as a professional, but also as a human being, and how we're going to have to adopt the latest tech innovations in order to, I don't know, for example, keep our time to market as competitive as possible. Look, I cannot say that we have the best code base in the industry, and experience tells me that no one can say that. Yeah. But King has approximately 200 million monthly active users. That is 52 times the population of LA. Farm, yes, so let that sink in. Farm Hero Saga has more than 4 million lines of code, which probably doesn't mean anything to any of you, but I just got goosebumps myself. So I can confidently say that we can provide some of the best technical challenges of the industry. I think that is true. And I think that as we grow, we will continue to do so. And ultimately, that is what I live and breathe for. So if that tickles someone's fancy in the audience, just find me later and let's connect in LinkedIn.
That's amazing. We're not done. I would love to get questions from the audience. Anyone wants to ask us anything? We're really nice.
We are.
Yes, yes, we have a question. Yes.
Looking forward, how do you see the application of AI technology affecting your development processes, your consumer engagement processes?
Great question.
I can take
Yeah.
that one, yeah.
Yeah,
It's related
go for
to
it.
tech. So, I mean, the potential is undeniable. That's for sure, not only on AI, but also on machine learning. We are already exploring ways to, for example, make gameplay and design more compelling, more adaptive, more responsive. There's actually, perhaps I shouldn't be publicizing another conference, but there is a very interesting talk by someone from King in the GDC. That's on Thursday at 10 a.m. And they give a lot of details on how we're using AI to improve what we do in terms of level design. So the talk is called Leveling Up, how AI's transformative role in level automation production adds business value in Candy Crush Saga. So that is a very interesting one. I've seen the slides. They're really good. But I want to make clear that the approach that King is taking is that AI is going to be an assistant. So we want to remove the more mundane tasks of our daily lives so we can focus on the creative process of making games. That's the approach that we're taking at the moment.
Thank you. Who else? Yes. Cannot see you, by the way.
Is that the light at
I
the
saw
end
the hand.
the light at the end of the tunnel?
Okay, great. Thank you. Hi.
Hello. Thank you so much for the talk. My question is regarding the KPIs for the product. When you run the product for so long, how those KPI evolves, and for the product manager, how he or she evaluates if we are going the right direction or not. Number one question. Second thing is about A/B testing. We heard a lot about A/B testing. Why this solution is only available to developers like King and everyone? Why not it's available? These solutions are not available for small studios. Why don't we have any one A/B solution that can fit everyone needs? So I'm pretty sure that you guys will have your own custom A/B solution.
Yeah.
So what is your recommendation for, like, considering this industry saturating? So what is your recommendation for running A/B tests? Hey, we recommend these tools. They're good enough to work around. So these two questions I have.
I'll take it. Yeah? Okay. I'll answer the second one first because I remember it better than the first question. Hold the mic, please. But in terms of A/B test, look, it depends a lot on what type of game you work on and what you want to learn, right? So it's a little bit what Will said in terms of outcome. The way we view A/B test is value. What am I going to learn about the behavior of my players, about the content that we're releasing, that is going to make the game better? At the end of the day, and now I'm going to link to your KPIs, look at that. It depends what you want to achieve and what you're interested in. I would say for us in Farm, we make a game that is Mesh 3, is casual, is to engage the whole world, right? I mean, we do want to make the world more playful. We want to provide people those moments of fun. So we are very keen on increasing game rounds. We're very keen on reach. We're very keen on many different things that show us that the creative effort or the technical effort that we put in makes the game better. And then everything else is just a consequence of players enjoying the product. So going back to the A/B test, I don't think there is a tool or a recipe. I think you're going to have to try and experiment with what do you want to learn, what do you want to achieve, and also the maturity of your product. It's very early, so do you want like more reach? Do you want more players? Do you want to invest? Do you have a lot of players at the mid to end of your content, so you want to foster that? Is it retention? Like, I think it depends a lot, But obviously, I don't want to I can go for hours, as you can tell, but we can catch up more if you want a bit more into farm later. But I think that would be kind of my advice.
And regarding the funnel, so the day one of farm, Hero Saga,
Yeah.
data looks like div X. Now it looks different. So how would you see this Futui funnel evolving? So what you said is you cannot change it because the product is big enough for not allowing you to change at this current moment. So if you want to, hey, I want to change the top funnel, you cannot change it, I believe, right? Is it product? So I'm just saying how the KPIs changes for a product that has been run for so long. Are those KPIs exactly same, or have they changed after every quarter? You revisit, hey guys, now we have these goals to hit for this product. Is it all revenue driven, or is it also engagement stats you guys also review?
I think it evolves with the time. It evolves with the game. Yeah. Sorry. Do you want to? Okay. Yeah. It evolves. Definitely evolves. Again, it depends what your ultimate goal is, right, and how you want to measure your success. But for us, it's also about applying learnings. And I think Megan talked about the 1, 2, 3 grow feature that's quite successful. We wanted it to be a retention feature, but we iterated on it, and now it's definitely something that helps with reach. It's definitely something that helps with the core gameplay. So again, because the product evolves, it also helps us when we set our goals and our direction to look at which KPIs translate success. Yes. Yes. Hi.
Hello. So 10 years a lot of time. Have you seen very specific insights about the behavior that had changed during this time? That's one question. And the other one is about the difference between retention focus and acquisition focus. Right now, are you focusing on acquiring more users, or you are focusing on maintaining the ones that you already have?
We love all players equally. We're focused from, thank you for whoever did that. Yes, you. That is actually, it sounds, but it's true. That's actually quite a nice learning. There's another talk by someone tomorrow about farm. You can listen. But the reality is that it really matters. You should nurture all your players, right? Because one of the biggest lessons, at least and I'm sorry, I'm answering all questions. I'm going to let you answer it as well. I just get very passionate about farm. But one of the biggest lessons I've learned is that you cannot focus on one or the other if you want sustainable growth, if you want your game to actually have a legacy, right? And that's basically how I see, we have the privilege of working in a game that's turning 10 and it's still there and it's still fun and have millions of players. But at the same time, if we only focused on the first time user experience, or we only focused on the end of content, then it would not have the harmony on the life cycle. So that's important to have both sides of it. And I think your other question was about retention, right? It kind of is connected in a way. Behavior. Okay, the player behavior change. I mean, does anyone want to answer? Because I don't want to dominate the microphone. They're all looking at me. I'm doing great. Okay. I would say it's the other way around. We look at player motivation when we build something. So we want to make sure that there's always something for you to do in farm. Whether you want to compete, you want to collaborate, you want to collect, you just want to feel that sense of achievement. So then the player behavior, because it's such a casual game with a broad appeal, it depends on the type of player that you are. But we as a team want to ensure that there's always something for whatever type of hero you are, basically, right? So I think that's the answer. We want to ensure that we touch upon the main motivations of our players, more than just we would like this life cycle, this journey. I don't think there's one way of playing the game. We have, oh yes, over there.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi guys. Congratulations on 10 years of
Thank you.
So my question is, when designing your core game loop, when did you get to that point where you realized that you struck gold with that game loop to keep those players, entertained and keep retaining them? And how can other developers get to that point?
Such a good question. Do you want to
I feel like it's a question for me, but I wasn't there when the first original core loop was made.
I wasn't there either when we struck gold, right? a fun fact, and I'm gonna share because I love that fun fact. But Farm was the first UK developed mobile game to hit $1 billion in lifetime revenue back in 2017. So that's quite an achievement. I feel like they understood that they struck gold. But I'm gonna go back into fun, which is subjective, right? But when you build something snappy, something that interacts, and I think Farm has almost like a secret sauce. The board, the switcher that you match, the fruits and vegetables, they are alive and they react to you. And like there is this connection. So I think one of the reasons, there are many, but one of my favorite reasons maybe is because there's this sense of nurturing. You as the hero, you're there to save, nurture those very cute protagonists. And I think that kind of touches upon something different. And I mean, we're very lucky to be part of King. There's another game that I feel like some people have played. Won't name that here. But I think that's it. We can also learn, right? From each other, learn from our competitors. That's what Will said. The competition is great. But we continue to improve the core gameplay. It's not that we don't stop. We have areas dedicated just to continue to make that experience, whatever this word in English is.
Just to add to that as well, I think one of the most important things that we focused on is providing a variety of ways to earn the rewards. But not only that is how, when we've seen the most success in that is how we've linked it back to the core gameplay. The players come, they want to play the core gameplay, but then they want to be able to go back to a different variety of ways to earn rewards with their different motivations, so going back to the player behavior. Ultimately, they all come for the core gameplay, so improving that is incredibly important, but there are different motivations they have to keep them around.
That's great.
I want to add something to this. I think that one of our superpowers, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it is data. So, and I think that is because of the skills that our team has. So it might be that you have a different team with other skills and superpowers, and that's perfectly fine. You will have to find your recipe, so to say. But I think that our recipe, like a big part of our recipe is data. So we're also very outcome oriented, as Will said. So we set outcomes, we measure, and then identify if we struck goal is about just checking if the line goes to the point that we expected, basically. At least that's how we're operating right now, and I think that probably 10 years ago, King was also very data oriented. So yeah, I wanted to add to what was already a beautiful answer.
Congrats. Do we have time? Does anyone else? We have 1 minute. Any other questions? Beautiful. We were so clear. Wow. I want to thank everyone for hanging out with us at this time. Also, thank you, team, for being so incredible, amazing. Congrats to us. 10 years. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
All right.
King team.